It appears that we've lost more post 9/11 veterans to suicide than we lost in Iraq due to combat. And I really believe those numbers are accurate, which would be north of 5,000. Very troubling for me. I really have to compartmentalize my reaction to it because, you know, we're the greatest country on earth, and I see this as an epidemic. This should be a national crisis. In the prep and the work that you've done for this interview for an hour, somewhere in America, a veteran's already taken their life. And there's a chance one of those was one of the North Carolina veterans. We have to get better at this. I deployed in 2013 to Afghanistan, and I was a sergeant major for what was called 2nd Marine Expeditionary Force Forward. 15,000 troops, a lot of U.S., other countries. And in that year that we were there, we had 4 suicides, 3 United States Marines and 1 U.S. Army soldier. And and a personal friend of mine who's still serving was one of the first responders to one of those suicides. And he's still serving, he's a sergeant major. And I could see that it shook him to the core, literally to the core. I could see the look in his eyes of just the lack of understanding of why this would take place and that what do we do through this struggle. A very close friend I went to Marine Corps boot camp with all the way back in September 1986. I rode on the airplane with him, same platoon at Parris Island. Served together on and off, served in Iraq together, not in the same command, but adjacent units. He was famous in the Marine Corps as a sergeant major. Well known, and in Paul's opinion, he could have been the sergeant major of the Marine Corps one day. He got out a few years old. He got out at 28 years, was a motivational speaker. Would travel around the country, did a lot of things for youth groups, scouts, and veterans groups for free. And a lot of what his talks was about suicide prevention, and having a plan, having a team. His big theme was Spartans and looking back at the Spartans, you know, and how they really were a family. Yet, out of the blue, he lived in Pennsylvania. He went out a country road, middle of the night, sent a text to his family that says, "I love you," and he took his own life. We can bring to bear the mightiest, you know, best fighting force in the world. But one of the back end of that is the baggage. And the baggage is that this is still a human endeavor, that humans go through things that no one else goes through, that you don't want them to go through, but they have to go through it for the cost of our freedom, and that is that cost. And the suicide is not right. We have to be way ahead of this. We can be much better. It has to be much more hands-on and much more aggressive. The key is leadership that is personable and engaged is the key to a younger service member, or maybe even an older service member, to having a conversation to say, I don't think I'm doing right. This isn't right. And explaining to our service members and giving them training on what right is, at least for them, what's close to right, what right looks like or sounds like or feels right. That, you know, service members are trained to be tough and resilient. And what they're holding when this baggage comes to suicide, it's just like anything else. It's like having a bad knee or a twisted back or something else. You just suck it up and you press through the pain. And I don't want them to press through this pain if it comes to them even thinking about suicide. Suicide is not an option. It shouldn't be. If I've intervened or asked someone a question and they got angry at me, yelled at me, hate me, not going to talk to me for the rest of their life, I still think, or the leadership or a concerned friend or partner, they're still doing the right thing. It has to be this genuine concern for your fellow service member. It has to be.